Hi everyone, I'm going to give you a little tour of your voice system today. So as we have learnt, the production of nice effective voice is due to three components. So it's nice integration and coordination between respiration or breathing, phonation, and also resonance as well. So what are each of these areas? So we know that breathing and respiration is mainly part of our lungs. And that's where we source a lot of the energy required for voice. So we need nice effective airflow to be able to come up from our lungs and then up through our larynx and then eventually out through our mouth. So in around this area just here where I'm pointing to on my neck, that is largely the phonatory system, and right about where my finger is, that's where your vocal cords are. So as part of the tour, because you can't actually see what's inside of my neck region here, my phonatory system, I have the assistance here of my little model larynx. So basically, this is the front of the larynx. I know it's quite big here, but this is my trachea here, running down into my lungs. So that's where the airflow comes up from the lungs and then up through your laryngeal area just in here. So if I just tip this forward for you here, what you will see in here is this little section here, this little flappy bit here is your epiglottis that actually closes down over your airway when you swallow, and that's to stop food and fluid going down into your lungs. So when you swallow, this little guy actually closes over your airway. So what you can see just here are vocal cords. So they are sitting just about in this area here of your neck. And what happens is that air will flow up from the lungs here. When you are breathing, the vocal cords here will be open like this. But when you're talking, the vocal cords here will actually be moving backwards and forwards like this, but they'll also be lengthening and shortening. And the lengthening and shortening gives you the different pitch in your voice. And the opening and closing there is what we call adduction and abduction. And that's what helps also give the different loudness that we have in our voices as well. So when air then flows up over the vocal cords and the vibration then causes and produces voice, what then happens is that airflow then needs to come out somewhere, and that runs up through what we call our resonatory system. So mostly that is within here, our nasal passages, so air flows up the back of our palate and then up through our nasal area, and that helps us to produce sounds like N and M. So N and M are some of our nasal sounds. So mummy, you can feel the actual airflow coming out through your nasal cavity there. But there's also resonance that occurs in the oral cavity as well. And the different ways that we shape our mouth or our oral cavity help us to produce primarily a lot of the different vowels. So you'll see my different mouth shapes here if I do A, E, I, O, U. They're the basic vowels, and the different shape of the vowels, the different shape of our mouth helps us to produce those different vowels.